a skill I did not learn very well in 6th grade, and I still don't know it to this day. Enough citrus, let's do some rhythm. All right, we got chart 9, line 2C. Pause the video, get that up if you have to. If not, let's go. It is the exact same for 4 measures, so once we count one measure, we know all the measures, all right? Let's do a little review. Remember, our dot, what's the definition of a dot? Adds half the value of the note before it, correct? So we have a quarter note with a dot, which means a quarter note plus half of a quarter note is an eighth note. So this is 1 plus 1/2 equals quarter tied to an eighth, or dotted quarter note, which equals 1 1/2 beats. You might not be able to see that. Sorry if you can't, but there you go. Okay, and another reminder, right? We have our eighth notes here. I got 4 eighth notes, and I'm going to tie the first 3 together. It's like going big 1, little and, little 2, big and, right? Which is the exact same as our dotted quarter eighth note rhythm, right? 1 and, okay? All right, let's write in the counts here. We got a big 1, big 2, big 3, little and, little 2, big and, okay? Write that in, pause the video, here you go. And write that in for the whole entire measure, or sorry, whole entire line, because it's all the same throughout the whole line. All right, let's count. Ready? So count the whole line, because it's all the same. 1, 2, count, chart 9, line 2C. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and are you tapping your foot? Do it again. Tap your foot. 1, 2, ready, count, go. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and good. To it, or thee it, or do it, whatever you need to do without the pulses, right? Ready? To it. 1, 2, to it, ready, go. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Good. All right, everybody play it. Pick your favorite note. Ready? And play it. 1, 2, play the whole line, go. All right, good job. Play it one more time. Trumpets played on E, clarinets played on E as in elephant. Flute, trombone, baritone played on D as in dog. Saxophone played on B. Ready? 1, 2, play the whole line, go. All right, great job. Everybody learn how to juggle citrus so you're better at it than I am.
Okay, we're going to do some more mini scales for you guys here, more 5-note patterns. When we were adding flats, you know, B flats, 2 flats, E flats, 3 flats, A flats, 4 flats, when you add more flats in that Beatgesif, B, A, D, G, F, you just keep going along that word, and it's always rule of 4s, right? So your 4th note in a scale is the new note that changes, and then we take that, and it becomes the 1st note, and then the 4th note is that new flat. But when we do a concert mini scale, and we'll go the opposite way, in which we add sharps. So if we had 2 flats, now we only have 1 flat. If we had 1 flat, then we'd have no flats or sharps. If we had no flats or sharps, then we'd have 1 sharp instead. So we're adding sharps each time. So the sharps and the flats kind of lock each other out. You go from there. So this we're going to call rule of 5s. To give some examples, first on the flute scale, we're going to start with, the B flat scale, rule of fives, B flat, C, D, E flat, F. That's the fifth note. That's going to become our new note, and we're going to get rid of a flat. So you are in the 2 flat club. Well, let's go up to F, and let's find where it says concert F. It's your last one on this page here. Notice F is now your first note, and look, we lost a flat. Now we only have 1 flat on this page. Okay, if we did rule of fives again, F, G, A, B flat, C, that would be your new note with rule of fives. And guess what? When we go rule of fives, you add a sharp. So if you add a sharp to this, it cancels out that flat. So now look, there's nothing here. Everything is natural. C, D, E, F, G. If we did that rule of fives again and went up to G, okay, concert G right here, and then look, there's a sharp in the key signature, so on and so forth. Rule of fives when you're adding the sharp. But we're worried about concert F today. So let's look at concert F scale, and we're going to use primarily this paper, and then I'm going to give you an alternative last measure to help you integrate the final note. So in this case, before we had 2 flats for B, you said B and E, but now we just have B flat, which means E is going to be natural. But the thing is, in these scales, you don't see the new note in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The new note is actually the 7th note of the scale, but these are only 5-note patterns, so we're going to accommodate that a little bit. But for right now, let's look at this. We've got F, G, A natural, B flat, C. So F is going to be F, G is right here, A is natural without the second pinky, so just A natural, thumb, 1, 2, pinky, and then B flat is going to be thumb, 1, pinky, and that's with the golf club key back here, and then finally C is just 1 pinky. So here's F. Right, those are the notes. F, G, A, B flat, C, B flat, A, G, F. So once again, F, G, A, B flat, C, flat, A, G, F. And if you know you're playing this scale, you can go ahead and put this over last second. So it's, if you can see my thumb, F, G, A, B flat, and it slides over to the golf club key. Okay, so let's try that again. I'm going to slowly, I want you to letter name F, G, A, B flat, C, and move your fingers this time. 2, 3. And remember, keep your fingers close, and I want you to just rewind this video now, just a few seconds to where I'm about to play the scale and give you the count off, and I want you to sizzle through it while moving your fingers, right? And then I want you to finally play it. And if that's not enough repetitions to get it well then you just do it again, okay? But that's the flute. So now we're gonna go to a different window, and I'm gonna disappear here on the screen, okay? So in this case, these are just not fully prepared yet. These are some new scale patterns that Mr. Google whipped up. So I'm going to show you guys. Find the mouse cursor on the second page here. F, G, A, B flat, C, B flat, A, G, F. Well, then he adds an arpeggio. F, A, C, A, F, E, F. So this first note are all notes from the pattern that we've already done. F, A, C, A. Good, right? F, A, C, A, F. And then if you go to E natural, that's the one that I'm worried about now. So I'm going to get rid of this for a second. E natural, notice there's only 1 flat, so E's are natural now. So if I get rid of this window, E natural is going to be thumb, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pinky. But you don't put the 6th finger down. The 6th finger stays up for E natural. And that's the one big difference between this and the B flat mini scale, is that E natural. So it's for that last measure, F, E natural, F. You don't put this ring finger down. It's just F, E natural, F. And it'll sound just like this if you're doing just the arpeggio. So I'm gonna start playing right here. F, A, C, A, F, E, F. So if you play the whole thing, it'd be starting right here at 56. course, my high C did not come out very nicely, so I apologize for that. But that's that. That's your F major. Now, if you have scrolled forward enough, at this point, this is clarinet time. I gotta wet my reed. It dried out while I was sitting here. So I'm gonna do the same thing, clarinets. We're gonna switch up some windows here so we're good to go. All right, clarinet 5-note patterns. I've zoomed in too much now. Okay, so 5-note patterns. So we know that in our B flat scale, we had all natural. And remember, we're talking rule of fives. So if you look at the 5th note, we're actually gonna add sharps at this point instead. So since you had nothing, nada, if we add sharps, it'll go to 1 sharp. So let's start on your concert E flat. You know you had 1 flat here. F, G, A, B flat, C. C would be the rule of fives note, C. So then C becomes your new note. So if you move up and you go from 1 flat and you add a sharp instead, they cancel each other out. So then you'd have no sharps and flats. So that's what you get to see here. So rule of 5, C becomes the first note, and then you cancel 1 out. And then C, D, E, F, G. G becomes the new rule of 5. So I bet if I find a key signature, this is blank. So I bet if I find one with an F sharp in it, it's a G major, our G major. If I scroll down, look, concert F is your G major. And it starts on G, and it has an F sharp in it. And we're gonna add that F sharp. You know F sharp, but you're not gonna know the one that we're gonna use for the scale right now. So let's work on this scale, and then I'll flip over to another sheet and I'll integrate the F sharp. So let's look. This first note is a G. Low G is all 6. Thumb 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. G. Second note is an A, which is thumb 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The third note is a B natural. Be careful of this one. It's 1, 2, 3, 5 for B natural. And then C is, thumb 1, 2, 3, and D is thumb 1, 2. And it sounds like this. Okay? Just plain and simple. Okay, so now I want you to do it this time. I'm going to count it off, and I want you to say the letter names. A, B, natural, C, which actually you don't say natural, you just don't say anything. G, A, B, C, D, C, B, A, G, E, E. And my voice can't get that low. All right, so I'm going to count you off, and then letter name it, then rewind it and sizzle it, then rewind it and play it. 2, 3. That's your concert F mini scale. But if we actually go over here to our finale page, I'm going to disappear here for a second. Our concert F is actually right over here where it says measure 59. Oh, I'm sorry, it's 2 before that. It's 57 right here. Notice we have 1 sharp. That's a natural because it canceled out the one from before, but it's 1 sharp. G, A, B natural, C, D, C, B natural, A, G. That's what we just played. But then if you look at this measure, it splits it up, and instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it just goes 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. So let's try that. B, D, B, G. You practice those 5 notes with me. 2, 3, 4. Then do that as many times as you need to. So now notice here, after the treble clef, we have a sharp on the top line. Every good boy deserves fudge. Whatever you want to use, there it is. It's an F sharp. So in this case, we know that our musical alphabet, this is a G. If we go down a note, you go backwards in the alphabet. What's before G? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So F would be here. But it's not a regular F. This is an F sharp because there's a sharp in the key signature. So I'm going to teach you how to do F sharp. I'm going to come back on video and I'll show you the fingering. So for F sharp, it's just like G. So you have thumb 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The fingers are just like G. But then on the left pinky here, you're going to use left outside pinky, lop. All right, not cute, not upper, not inside, but outside pinky is right here, okay? Lop, okay? So if I'm, holding my clarinet this way, it's the one farthest that way when I'm looking at the clarinet. So it's this one right here. Yeah, the outside one, okay? So here's G sharp, or F sharp. So that last measure is G, F sharp, G. Here's what it would be. Here's the arpeggio. Okay, there's the fingers. Now I'm going to put up the music so you can read it while we do it here. Let's try it. Ready? This is D, B, D, B, G, F sharp, G, 2. Make sure you're looking at it right here. G, B, D, B, G, F sharp, G, 2, 3. Make sure you take some time to do that, the whole scale, and that with the extra note from the sharp in it. So now we're going to change for our last instrument, the saxophone, and we're going to go through that one. So let me get this up here. We don't need flute anymore. Don't need clarinet on sax. Okay, that's too big. Okay, so saxophone's rule of fives. When we started before, we already had sharps, and you guys knew that when we added a flat, it canceled out. Right, so I don't need to go over that. But if you started here and you went G, A, B, C, D, D would be your rule of fives note because it's the fifth note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I made D my starting note, I bet you instead of one sharp, I add a sharp, I'd have two of them, two sharps. And in this case, if look, your D, starting note is D. Now I have two sharps. Now remember, beadgesif, B-E-A-D, D-C-F, right? Go left to right for flats. But you start on the opposite way. It's still beadgesif, but it starts with the F. F sharp, and then what's next to it on that side? It's a C. So we have F sharps and C sharps. So here you have D, E, F sharp, G, A, G, F sharp, E, D. And I know you guys know all these notes. So it's D, E, F sharp, G, A. Now those all have the octave key. Quite simple. Now we're going to flip over to the finale page. Once you've practiced that enough, you should be good to go. But on the finale page, here is the saxophone one, and the scale we played is right here. D, E, F sharp, G, A, G, F sharp, E, D. Now look at this arpeggio. F sharp, A, F sharp, D, C sharp, D. Now you guys know C sharp is no fingers, right? So you do D, F sharp, A, F sharp, D, C sharp, D. Let me just play it once. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move this out so you guys can see my fingers. Here's what it looks like. So those are the fingers for D, F sharp, A, F sharp, D, C sharp, F sharp. But let's put this back here. What I want you to do this time is I want you to play the mini scale and then the arpeggio and with the C sharp at the end. And see, so that's, remember, your new note comes as the seventh note when you're doing rule of fives. Rule of fives gives you the starting note. Rule of fives adds a sharp, but rule of fives new note, so that C sharp, which is the different one, is actually the seventh note of the scale. But if you're doing 5-note patterns, you don't get to the seventh. The quickest way is to go down one from one. Okay, let's try. Here's the whole thing. You can rewind this a million times. 2, scale and arpeggio. Here we go. Alright, so that's our mini scales. That was a pretty long-winded one, but we have the new scale to show you. Some different letters in there, new rule of fives. I hope you guys enjoyed. Practice. Not till you get it wrong. I'm sorry, I did it wrong. Don't practice till you get it right. Practice till you can't get it wrong.
Я сегодня тебе принес не букет из пышных роз, не тюльпаны и не лилии, а всего лишь петунии и...
The prophecy is true.
we're here with number 78. With this video, it's going to be a little bit longer because 78 is a little bit more involved. So it's an 8-measure tune. So let's take look at a few things that's going on with it. So let's look first in saxophone land. You see no sharps and flats, so we're talking F naturals. So you have all of this type of note. F natural, thumb, 1, 2, 3, 5 for the high ones. But then there are a few accidentals that we throw in there. So look, we have C, C, E, E, D, E, F, E, D. And that's fine, right? But then we bring it back down. B, B, A, G, A, G. What's that? Zoom that in. F sharp, right? So when we play down here, we have an accidental, and that's an F sharp. So the special thing about that, accidentals are like a coupon. They're good for the whole measure. So say I had like 5 F sharps here, and I just marked the first one F sharp, then all of them are F sharp. Except once I hit the bar line, once I get here, and I'm forced to go on to the next measure, it resets back to the key signature, whatever the key signature said. So in this case, key signature says, oh, it's F natural. So throughout the whole piece of music, it is F natural. So like here, it's F natural. Here, it's still F natural, even though we don't play one. But then when we get here, it becomes F sharp because all of a sudden it's in that measure with that. Okay, so then we're going to zoom out. Let's go to the next set of measures. C, C, E, E, D, E. It's regular F natural here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and your thumb. Da, da. Right? And then E, C, D, B, C. Right, yep, C. So no big deal. So you have a couple F naturals are the normal note that you're going to use for this, except at that point it's going to be F sharp, just in measure 4. Clarinets, similar function. You see in your key signature you have this going on here, you have 1 flat, and that's a B flat. Now, this note that we learned all the way up here, G, A, B flat, so it's 4, 5, and 6. You hold those down, G, A, B flat, right? So you go, G is 4, 5, 6, and then on A, you add the A key, and then on B flat, you add the register, but you keep that 4, 5, 6 down, right? So it's B flat there, but if we go forward, E, E, D, C, D, C, B natural for just that one measure, the same as it was for saxes with F sharp. For that one measure, it's going to be B natural for you. And so that measure, instead of being thumb 1, 2, 3, 4, which we learned, of course, the other day, it's not that. It's not that according to the key signature it is, but for this one instance, it's this, okay, for that measure. So let me be clear. The key signature, which is the area between the treble, clef, and your time signature, is like a coupon that's good for the whole song. Right? So this is saying for the whole song, I want you to play all B's, whether they're on the 3rd line, way up here, or way down below. I want them all to be flat. But in this case, it's saying no for this measure until you get to the glorious bar line at the end of the measure, you know, right here. Till you get there, it's going to remain B natural. Okay? So we're going to take this through. We're going to count a couple measures at a time, go through technique a couple measures at a time, and we'll go from there. Let's look at the first 2 measures. Let's just break down the counting. Okay? Should be very easy to count. 1, 2, ready, and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3. Now notice right here, these are all slurred, so you only tongue the first note. That's it. All you do is tongue that first note, and then the rest of them you just move the fingers. So it'd be D, 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 right? Now, another thing, you have a mezzo forte, so you start medium loud, but you're going to get forte. But you're going to do what this little picture does. You see this picture? It's a crescendo, meaning you start at this volume, and it obviously gets bigger and wider or farther apart at the end. So it starts right here, and then the second note you're here, then the third note you're here, then the fourth note you're here. It just keeps getting louder. Okay? So if I had to give an example, it would be like this. By the time I get to measure 2, it's forte, and I stay there. So once again, it starts medium loud. Each one of those notes gets louder. So the first one is, second one, third one, and the fourth one gets louder each time. Okay? So let's try sizzling that. Ready? It's C, C, E, E, D, E, F natural with this finger. 2. Ready? And sizzle. And then clarinet land, similar. F, F, G, A, G, A, B flat, A, G. Each note gets louder. That's how that works. Now, once you get to measure 3, you notice there's no change in dynamics. You're going to stay forte. I'll start first on clarinet in this measure since I'm here. E, E, D, C, B natural this time with the 5th finger. D, C, that's the trickiest one. D, C, B natural, D, C. Because you got to go from B natural and you pick up 2 fingers and then go to C. So slowly. Those are the fingers on that. Let's try that one more time. Sizzle along both instruments. Get some rep saxophones. 2, 3. And you breathe at the end. So for saxes, similar, exact same rhythm and tonguing. When it's going to go B, B, A, G, F sharp, A, G. Ready? And sizzle. Here we go. So that's the first full phrase. You're only supposed to do those 4 measures in one breath. So I'm going to play this on just my saxophone here. Both instruments play along, and you're going to make this one breath, which means you start mezzo forte, you get up to forte, and then this note should connect to this note. There should be no space in between the clarinet's G and E right here, or the sax's D and B. No space, no breath. Connect them. Ready? These 4 measures. 1, 2, 3. I hope you got a good rep there, clarinets, but here's an example for you. 2, 3. And take a breath. Okay, that's the first half of the song. We're going to move on to the next half. Should be fairly simple. Why? Because look at these 2 measures. C, C, E, E, D, E, F, E, D. You know those 2. And then F, F, A, A, G, A, B flat, A, G. You know those 2. So instead, let's look at the last measure. Sax, it's a whole note C. Clarinet, it's a whole note F. Just play it with me. Both instruments. 2, 3. That's mezzo forte, right? So notice you have 4 more notes, and you're gonna decrescendo. Each note gets quieter. Each note, follow the shape. It starts big and it gets softer as it goes. So in this case, A, F, G, E, F, or for sax is E, C, D, B, C. Okay, that's how that works. So let's do an example there, and also notice one last thing: the tonguing and slurring pattern. It's tongue this note, don't tongue this note, tongue this note, don't tongue this note. So D, D, D. Here we go. 2. Ready? Clear on that. And you start forte. Start forte. One more time. 2, 3. Okay? And I'll do a saxophone example. Each note gets quieter. E, C, D, B, C. Little over the break. E, C, D, B, C. 2, 3. okay to get a little quieter than mezzo forte there. Not a problem. All right, let's work on a track for the whole thing. You can practice a million times this way. I probably won't scroll it down because I don't have time, but I have it memorized, I think, so we should be okay. But here's the whole tune. 2, ready? That's number 78. This is one of your test offs for the fourth quarter, so please practice it. You need to make sure you get all the notes and rhythms right. That's expected. You have to get those right. You need to really look out for the slurring versus the tonguing. Don't get confused on that. Slur all the notes that need to be slurred, tongue all the notes that need to be tongued. But the final little sugar on top piece is going to be those dynamics. You need to get louder, stay loud, and then get softer at the end. You have to do that to get full points. So, happy practicing. Use this video as many times as you need to do it in order to get this down. Thank you. Alright, I understand my last band happy birthday video didn't work. So I'm going to make another one. I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. So anyways, here we go. Here's happy birthday song. Let's go through this again. We're going to start with the old sax man here. Let's start at the beginning. Notice it's in a 3/4, and there's a 2/8 note and a crucis. So we are going to begin on beat 3 and. So let's begin by counting this. 1, I'll give you 2, then count it with me. 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3, 1, 3 and 1, 2, 3, 1. Oh gosh, okay, we're gonna have to start that again. 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3, 1, 3 and 1, 2, 3, 1, 3 and 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, breathe. 3 and 1, 2, 3, 1, then you're done. All right, here we go. The letters are easy. First one, G, G, A, G, C, B. The second one, a little bit more difficult. G, G, A, G. Then it goes up to D, C. Let's put those together, and I want you to sizzle along this time, and then roll it back and play it. 1, beginning, first 2 chunks, ready, here we go. Now the last one, this is the one that I need to talk a little bit more about. The last one starts again with G, G, G. It goes all the way up to a high G, so the technique is easy. You do 1, 2, 3, and you get to the higher one, you add the thumb. G, 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 E, you add 4 and 5. C, it's only the second finger. B, first finger, then A, 1 and 2, and you hold it for a little while. Sounds like this. That's how that works. But then the last little chunk, it's F natural. Why is it F natural? Because do you see anything in here? No, it's all natural. So F, F, E, right? Starting right here after the fermata. F, F, E, C, D, C. Okay, now I'm going to explain to clarinets what's going on, and then we're going to play together both instruments. All right. Saxes use this time to sizzle the rhythms a little bit. So clarinet's beginning's quite simple. Once again, you have one flat in the key, and it's a B flat. We'll get to that later. But right now, C, C, D, C, F, E. You know these notes, very easy. Next one starts the same way. C, C, D, C, G, F. And then finally, this is the tricky part. So you have C, 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 goes up to a high C here. Now I'm gonna add a little extra. Check this out. We're gonna put a low one in as well. You can do either. I'd like you to experiment with the higher note, but you can just play the low C, 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 A, F, F, E, D. But I'd like you to try working on the upper note. So let's check it out really quick. The higher note is just the higher version of C. It's on the third line, F, A, C. So if you check that out, it's thumb register 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're going to use all 6 fingers, thumb and register key, and then you're going to use bip, this one right here. Okay, if you remember your low F way below the staff, the one like for your concert E flat scale. Ooh, my reed. Ooh. That low F. It's the same fingering except you add the register, but that's how you get high C. Okay. My reed keeps coming off kilter here. So it's so I have a C here with the thumb, and I go C, C, C. All I add in the left hand is my thumb. But on the right hand, I'm going to have everything really close. C, 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 and my right hand goes down on 4, 5, 6, and bip, bottom inside pinky. Simultaneously, I put that down. C, C, C. Got it? Oh, not good yet. Oh my gosh. Yep, and that's how that high C works. I need to get a new ligature. Holy cannoli. All right, so let's try that in time. Once again, we're going to start at the pickup note here. C, 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 A, F, F, E, D. Now this last chunk, this is a B flat right here because you see there's a flat in the key signature, so that's B flat, and that's just A key, register key. B flat, A, F, G, F. And that's all there is to it. I'm going to play it through once on clarinet, once on saxophone. Okay, same thing on sax. And that's Happy Birthday.